Man of Medan, the first game in the Dark Pictures Anthology series, is an interactive drama horror game from the same developers of Until Dawn. A game that is heavily focused on story elements and quick decision gameplay, where we make choices that can decide the fate of every character. And Man of Medan is almost identical. It's almost like watching a horror movie, except every choice that we make can determine whether a character lives or dies. In the game, 4 friends and the captain set sail on a holiday diving trip to find a rumored World War II wreck, but as the day unfolds, they find themselves dragged into something far more sinister, and nothing is as it seems. I know that I mainly review movies, but I also like to play the occasional game every once in a while, and this is a game that I picked up yesterday, so I kinda wanted to talk about it. In this game, you can also play as multiplayer with friends, where each of your friends can control each of the characters, so that's pretty cool. But for my first run through, I decided to play the solo mode. Now, I love these type of games. These are by far my favorite type of games to experience for the very first time, and I feel like they are better experience when you are going into them not really knowing what you are getting yourself into. Throughout these games, we learn to like or dislike each of the characters, and some of them can die. And if it's a character that you really like, then bad luck. This is what I like about these type of games. We learn to get emotionally attached to each of the characters, and also get to learn about their backstories in detail. In movies, in horror movies, or any type of movie, it's pretty similar in the fact that we can get emotionally invested in each of the characters as well. You know, if it's a character that we really like and they die, we generally will feel sad. But nothing beats watching a death in a choices matter game like this one. When you watch a movie, it's basically scripted. You know, it happens in a way that is supposed to happen. But in this game, you know, when you kill somebody, it happens in your own hands. It happens through a choice that you made. Because if you played it correctly, nobody should have died, right? That's why these type of games are frustrating. It basically feels like you killed off a character. So if you are experiencing this game for the very first time, don't get disheartened. It's all part of the learning experience. I think I did pretty well the first time I played through it, but that's only because I played through Until Dawn as well, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. The only member I managed to kill was Julia towards the very end in a very dumb frontation. But that's all I'm going to say. Don't want to spoil the game. In terms of the horror elements of this game, is this game scary? Not at all. I think Until Dawn is much more terrifying and gruesome than this game. This game just has a lot of cheap jump scares, and some of them really surprised me and shocked me, like towards the beginning of the game, but like towards the end, it was kind of repetitive, and it didn't really shock me. Like, it was very predictable, so it didn't really shock me anymore. This is one of those games where it won't make too much sense early on, so you kind of need to progress in the story in order for things to kind of unravel, because early on it's really unclear what these characters are up against. Most people just play halfway through this game and say, wait a minute, what's happening? Nothing makes sense. Oh well, just give it some time. Now, the mechanics. If you are familiar with the mechanics of Until Dawn, you should be familiar with the mechanics in this game. There are relationship stats, pictures you find which can predict the future, choices that you have to make during a chase, and quick time events where if you fail, something bad might happen. They did change one thing though. Instead of the don't move prompt in Until Dawn, where if you move your controller, your character might die, they added a keep calm prompt instead, where you have to kind of time your presses with the breaths that you take. Kind of feels like a rhythm game in a way. I personally prefer the don't move prompt because I feel like it feels more realistic, but it can be sometimes unreliable, and both of these prompts give the same kind of uneasy feeling, you know, like during some of the scenes, some of the instances, my palms were getting really sweaty. It was pretty intense. I love the cinematic camera angles as well, although sometimes it is annoying how you get it confused and adjust the analog stick and then you stutter step, but you get used to it. Now, choices matter games like Until Dawn, like Detroit Become Human, generally have very short game time, around 8 to 10 hours, for obvious reasons, because it's very hard to keep it consistently entertaining when most of the gameplay is cutscenes. It's basically like watching a movie, so it kind of makes sense. For Man of Medan, it took me exactly 4 hours to complete the game through my first playthrough. But even though the game is really short, I think it is short and sweet, and people say that there is a lot of replayability value. Although I think the game could have been a lot better, because after playing through it and realizing what it actually is, the game's purpose feels a lot smaller than I had anticipated. Like, oh, is that it? And personally, I don't feel like there's too much replayability value, honestly, unless you manage to kill off a lot of people. Because what I did, because I just killed off one person, I just went back to that scene and I just replayed 15 minutes of gameplay and then got a different ending. So that's fine. But yeah, I mean, this game, it actually isn't that hard. Like, it gives you a lot of second chances, and if you played Until Dawn and you're familiar with the mechanics in that game, then this game should be a breeze. What I'm probably going to do now is probably play the DLC that I got, the Curator's Cut, which apparently is playing through the game again in like an alternate perspective. I don't know what that is, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be pretty fun. So would I recommend this game? Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, if you liked Until Dawn, then you should definitely like this game as well, because it's pretty fun, but the game went as much as I expected, but it could have been a lot better. I'm going to give Man of Medan a B+. This is one of those games that if you want to play it, just get the game and don't watch any gameplay footage, just go into it blind. Because nothing beats experiencing a game like this for the very first time. I almost didn't get this game and just went to watch a streamer play it instead, but I was like, you know what, why not? It's better if I just play it myself and make my own choices and create my own story. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Have you played Man of Medan? Are you thinking about playing it? Please leave a comment on your thoughts below. Like the video if you liked it, and drop a sub to help the channel out. Also, feel free to check out my previous video. Until next time.